Welcome to Talaterra, a podcast about freelance educators working in natural resource fields and environmental education. Who are these educators? What do they do? Join me, and let's find out together. This is your host, Tania Marien. Hi, it's Tania, and welcome to this episode of the Talaterra podcast. This week, I look forward to sharing with you an overview of the first ever EE Forward Summit that was held last week. These summits are part of the EE Forward initiative here at Talaterra. If you're unfamiliar with the acronym EE stands for Environmental Education. As a regular listener, you know that Talaterra focuses on independent professionals who connect people with nature through their work. Freelance professionals who have launched initiatives to change something that needs to be changed or create an opportunity that does not exist. The overarching goal, of course, is to serve other people. The EE Forward initiative has a particular objective, and this is to focus on professional development and partnership building. The summits are professional development events that take an interdisciplinary approach to a selected topic and highlight the work of independent professionals whose work revolves around the chosen topic. Last week, the first EE Forward Summit featured 9 speakers who came together to lead conversations and offer new perspectives about water, which was the topic selected for this first ever summit event. Summit attendees gained new perspectives about water from speakers whose work is founded in water literacy, storytelling, partnership building, watershed interpretation, regenerative agriculture, amphibian conservation, interpreting place through sound and imagery, and nature journaling. Attendees also gained new insight into Talaterra, its objectives, and how it hopes to serve independent professionals in our field. The professionals who gathered last week for the first summit brought with them their experiences from many different fields. The group that gathered last week represented fields that include science communication, prison reform, textile arts, regenerative farming, writing, communication, art, diversity, equity, and inclusion, informal learning, climate change, nature journaling, biological consulting, water literacy, interpretation, conservation psychology, story skills, conservation, water education, and youth empowerment. So you can see that this was a rich gathering of participants with diverse perspectives. While the summit was scheduled for June 11 and 12, the festivities actually began a few days before when the event space opened up. When the event space opened up, participants had an opportunity to complete their bios and start conversing with each other. During this time, participants were also treated to a private viewing of the movie Kiss the Ground. When the summit officially began, we kicked things off with a conversation about environmental education being an essential business. Moving forward, what does moving forward look like to you? So if environmental education is an essential business and important isn't essential, nice to have isn't either, but what we really do, but if we really think about it as an essential business, what about what you do is essential? As we transitioned from one conversation to the next, we learned things like how to take a layered approach to water literacy, how to structure a story and a message for our respective lines of work. We learned how a large aquarium developed relationships with community partners. We learned about what's involved in designing interpretive panels about watersheds, and also learned about an activity environmental educators can use to help evaluate what environmental education means to them and to their colleagues. And all of this happened on only the first day. In reflecting about the summit's second day, I think the key words there are inspiration and hope. We began the day with a guided conversation about the dynamics between soil and water and the possibilities of regenerative agriculture. We then had the opportunity to see how the Amphibian Foundation changes hearts and minds with both their online and in-person programming. We learned about their Critter Camp program and their Master Herpetologist program, and how they turned things around for themselves when the pandemic hit. We then had the opportunity to travel virtually, first to Wales and then to Australia. While in Wales, we learned about the nuances of sound from Alistair Duncan of Still Walks, which is an interpretive studio that uses photography and sound to interpret place. This session focused on the sounds of water. When we jettisoned ourselves to Australia, we got to spend time with Bethan Burton, the founder of International Nature Journaling Week, who activated all of our senses as she led us on a tour of mangrove habitat. Bethan then shared with us how she captures the sights, the sounds, the textures, and the taste of this mangrove habitat in her nature journal. As you can see, the summit featured 2 days of really rich professional development and networking opportunities. And I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to the speakers who contributed so much to the summit. I am certain that summit attendees view the world with new eyes because of them. And I also want to thank each participant for engaging in conversations that help all of us move forward. If you missed out on this first summit and would like to be informed about the next one and other upcoming events, please subscribe to The Trail, Talaterra's weekly newsletter. It is sent on Mondays at noon Pacific Time. You'll find the sign-up form at talaterra.com. And if you visit the show notes for this episode, you will find links that will connect you to each of the speakers and their work. And I encourage you to learn more about them and the change that they are making. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time.